trial is over, he's finally able to speak his mind about the feelings and emotions he had during this long case.
Make sure y'all get my death row symbol. Symbolization of greatness. Yeah, pull yours out, DK. I couldn't wear it through court. I had to keep it up under my tie. Now court is over.
We, the jury in above entitled action, find the defendant, Calvin Brodus, not guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
I'm curious, what was going through your mind at the time that the jury was reading the verdict?
I left it in God's hand, Abby. That's why I looked so stone-faced. I didn't have no expressions. You know what I'm saying? It was all inner. I prayed on it. My family prayed on it. David Kenner, you know what I'm saying, put on the bomb case. Donald Ray, Marsha Morrissey, Paul Palladino, the whole dream team. They did what they were supposed to do, and they gave the baton to the jury, and I couldn't do nothing but just bank on them and worry about what the outcome was going to be, as far as to just sit there and hold my position and keep my head up high and just, you know, wait for the outcome.
Right. When you talk about the dream team, it's interesting because obviously after OJ, you know, the price of having a team like that is certainly not what the average person and certainly not what the average black American male can afford. Do you feel that there is a price on justice? Would you have gotten the same type of you know, defense team if you were not in the rap game like you are, making money like you are now?
I mean, only if David Kenner just would have had love for me on that level and just did it for me, just not for the paper, but just doing it for the love, because I know that's how he is about me. He's not concerned with the money issue, and you know what I'm saying, and I knew that when he did his closing argument, you know what I'm saying, because it brought him to tears, it brought me to tears, and a couple of jurors to tears, because he was actually telling them, I'm not representing Snoop Doggy Dogg for Snoop Doggy Dogg. I'm representing him because I love him as an individual. I knew him before this incident. I know him after this incident. And I'm giving y'all control of his life, in which I've had control over for the past 2.5 years. And I love this man. If you take him away, it's like you taking me away.
Right. But is there a price tag, though,
you know
on
what's
justice?
happening. You know it's a price tag. People like Ed Nissen and Bobby Grace, they eat up defendants that don't have no money, that don't have no stability to fight the case, because they so dirty with what they do. They so undermined, and they find out that victims have guns on them, and they throw that out the idea, do interviews with you. No, he didn't have a gun. Then come back 2 months later, oh yeah, he had a gun, but he wasn't going for it. Then they come back 4 months, yeah, he was going for a gun, but he was only going for it after McKinley Lee went for it. So that lets you know they're obstruction to the law. And I just want to tell them, all them pennies you put on the table, they mounted up to nothing. Bobby Grace, nothing. Uncle Tom's nephew, from me to you.
But do you feel he was doing his job?
No, he wasn't doing his job. If he was doing his job, he would have called the case off. That's doing your job. Seek justice. He knew we was not guilty. He knew that. He knew McKinley Lee acted in self-defense. McKinley Lee has never, ever, ever, ever been involved with gangs. I have. McKinley Lee has never been involved with gangs. He was the trigger man. So what's the whole case about? Oh, it's about Snoop Dogg being gang affiliated, but Snoop Dogg didn't pull the trigger. He drove the car away from his bodyguard acting in self-defense. But if you look at them, they don't care about that. It's Snoop Dogg. We some low-life district attorneys that don't have no name, that don't got nothing going for ourselves. If we wash him up, we large. We bigger than Chris Darden and Marsh and Clark and all them. We gonna be large. That's what his whole mission was about. He wasn't focused on the case. All he was focused on was washing me up.
I remember when we talked to Malik, or McKinley Lee, he had mentioned that this case was really more so about him and that the actions that he took in his job. How do you feel that the action that he did take to protect your life resulted in the death of another young man?
I mean, I feel bad, you know what I'm saying? But yet and still, Malik done his job. His job was to protect me, protect him and anybody that was around me at any time. That's what he was hired for, as a personal bodyguard. That's what bodyguards are hired for. If you go get at Garth Brooks, Kenny Rogers, any one of them, and ask them, what is your bodyguard's job? Did you guys see the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston? What was Kevin Costner's job? To protect Whitney Houston from any danger that came to her while she was performing, even while she wasn't performing. And as you seen, the movie projected everything that could happen to you as a celebrity, but it really didn't go in depth as far as our situation, but it gave it across as clear as possible as they could. But if we was to do a movie called The Bodyguard, it'd be so similar to that.
Mm-hmm. But let's talk about lifestyle for a minute, because did the danger come to you, or were you always around this danger because of the environment that you were living in at that time?
No. I mean, the danger came to us, we perceived it as a threat. That's the reason why Malik acted the way he acted in the situation. You know, I look at it like this. If Malik would have waited another second, I might not be here doing an interview with you right now. If he would have waited another half a second, I might have a hole in my head. He might have a hole in his head. He might have a hole in his arm. You never know.